Absolutely is.
So Tim, you could drag him out of the car. You can't sit on his neck for 9 minutes, brother. That's obvious.
I agree. I completely agree.
Don't fight that. That is terrible. It's murder.
I'm not saying that specific incident is the moral dilemma. I'm saying the entirety of the circumstance brings us to a bunch of serious questions that must be answered that have not been.
No, I think it's look, I'll tell you, Tim, to the average guy, it sounds like you're excusing it. I know you're saying you're not because you're putting in the caveat that the 9 minutes was wrong and it was murder, but like, don't get into it, because if you want to talk about nuance, there's 1,000 cop videos where they drag him out of the car and you could say, no, that's totally okay. That guy's on speed. He was causing a significant issue where people might have gotten hurt, and the cops had to subdue him. So make the argument in that case. If you make it about George Floyd, everybody's going to think you're, defending this racist guy who murdered that guy.
I don't care what people think about me if I'm trying to find a solution so this doesn't happen again. And so if the issue is guy uses counterfeit $20 bill, resulting in a police call. Police find him behind the wheel of an SUV chewing on hard drugs. He's removed from the vehicle. He sat down. Eventually, they move to arrest him. George Floyd becomes combative, says, take me out of the car, take me out of the car. I can't breathe. Put me on the ground, put me on the ground, put me on the ground. Chauvin arrives after this, kneels on his neck. Those are the circumstances of what happened. Crowd forms. They're mad at it. George Floyd dies. 9 minutes. The questions are, where was the point at which this should have stopped? Should it have just...
Why is that not super easy? The point it should have stopped is he should never put his knee on the guy's neck.
They have training for it. And so then...
Well, that's the training is wrong.
Exactly. And then the answer becomes, we dissect this, we say, okay, here's the point of failure. And so when you... the problem is when you outright dismiss it and say you're racist, if you question it, you're siding with the racist guy. If people want to say that, that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't solve the problem.
But Tim, you're purposely picking the worst case to talk about because it gets my honest opinion. Sorry, but it's because you know that it's going to get more attention if you say it in the context of George Floyd.
Let's talk about Ahmuad Arbery.
Okay.
I mean, these are the high-profile stories that
Ahmuad Arbery, the guy who got shot jogging in the neighborhood, is.
I think jogging is a representation of your misinformation or your ignorance of the issue.
Tim, this is why people think you're a radical right winger.
That's fine, but if you don't know, why would you make the argument?
So what do you mean I don't know? I know the case. The guy, the two redneck racist sons of bitches who murdered him said that he was in the house that was being built, which, by the way, apparently tons of people had come by to say, hey, how's the construction going?
Wrong.
Right? So do they know that he was one of the how's the construction going? Well, they don't know anything because he didn't steal anything.
But
okay?
You're wrong.
So, but they see a black guy at a construction site,
Cenk,
and they're like, let's chase that son of a bitch down and shoot him.
I don't care what people think of me if I'm following the facts to try and figure out what happened and try and solve the problem, but you have already shown you don't know the case.
Yeah, that's total horse crap. Go ahead, defend the racist guys who murdered him. Go ahead.
How about I just describe what happened?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So a few weeks before the incident, a gun is stolen.
But not by that guy. But hey, the racist thought it must be the black guy.
How about the police then show a picture of him to various people in the neighborhood saying, this is our suspect of the burglaries that have been happening over the past several weeks?
Except it wasn't, right?
No,
Ahmuad Arbery didn't do anything wrong.
Ahmuad was the suspect.
I never saw that, and that's
my point. You didn't.
Okay, so I don't believe you. B, I never saw it. C, there's.
But you see the problem of
no. You
didn't follow the case. Okay, I'm not making a moralistic statement on what happened.
So let's take your bullshit facts, so-called facts. Let's accept them as true, okay? So they show me a picture. Police come by my house to show me a picture of a black guy, and they say this might be a suspect in a robbery. Yep. If I see him, I'm not going to chase him down with a gun because that means that there's a high chance that we're going to get into a conflict and someone's going to die. Why? That's a lunatic thing to do.
Why did the guy who filmed it go to jail?
The second thing I'm not going to do is look at any black guy in the neighborhood and go, I bet that's him, man. Let's go grab our shotguns.
But I don't disagree.
Okay.
Why did the guy who filmed it go to prison?
I think that what they stated in that case was that he helped to chase the guy down. It wasn't the filming that was the issue. It was that he helped to corner the guy in his car as well, and that's why he was an accomplice.
So he didn't coordinate with him anyway. He saw the McMichaels chase after him, and so he said, I got to film this. He then gave the footage out, which showed what happened and resulted in the criminal charges, but they locked him up too.
But he was an accomplice, brother. So I read the stories about how he worked with those guys. He agreed with those guys. So if he was just a random neighbor that shot it out of his window, Why would he go to prison? Of course he shouldn't go to prison.
But
right?
that's the point. He didn't coordinate with them in any way.
So yet now you're nitpicking the prosecution in that particular case about the guy who shot the video. But why are you like going out of your way to defend the most racist murderers in America? Then you shouldn't wonder why people think you're an extreme right winger, Tim. I'm keeping it real with you.
I don't know who these guys are. I don't know anything about
You don't think that they're racist when they just chase down a black guy in the neighborhood and pull a shotgun on him?
You see,
he's not even armed, and then they murder him in cold blood, and you don't think that's racist?
You see,
what is your line for racism then?
Okay, if there's a suspect in a crime, and the police say, this is who we think he is, then you believe this man may have actually stolen the gun out of my truck. He may be armed. The police told the McMichaels not to pursue. They should not have.
8 logical jumps there.
Like what? Like what?
There was a guy who was in the neighborhood. The cops show me a black guy's picture. Then maybe he took something out of my car. Now I'm like way out in maybe
hold on,
land.
you're making a mistake.
And then, here comes a black guy in their neighborhood. Maybe he was the guy, but maybe my truck, and maybe let's go chase him down with a shotgun.
I didn't say they were right to do it.
Did I chase down anybody else in the neighborhood with a shotgun? Oh, look, there's a black guy. Let's go chase him down.
I didn't say they were right to do it.
Okay. All right. Then why are you bothering defending them? I don't get it.
You've taken
unless you're trying to get attention of all the right wingers who go, oh, that wasn't so bad, was it? Hey, Tim Pool's defending us.
Do you remember the Covington Catholic kids?
Remind me.
The kid on the steps of the Lincoln.
Yeah. And they knew
Native
when he caught the feelings and sued everybody and cried like a baby.
And how many people accused that kid of wrongdoing when it turns out he was actually confronted by Nathan Phillips and not the other way around?
We never made that mistake. And if you get something wrong, you just say it.
I'm not going to get
facts matter, right?
Absolutely. So when it comes to the case like Ahmuad Arbery or many of these others, or Breonna Taylor, I'm not going to start making declarative statements about the personal opinions of people I've never met and don't know anything about. I'm going to try and understand what the argument from the prosecution was. And guess what? The prosecution did not dispute that Ahmuad Arbery was a suspect in the felony burglaries. The prosecution argued that
I don't care.
Well, that's the point.
No,
I care
Tim,
about
and I'll
justice.
tell you why I don't care. So it's not just like I'm being flippant, right? It's because every time a black man is killed by either authorities or vigilantes, in the Ahmuad Arbery case, what right wingers do is, did you know that back in 7th grade he was once tardy, and we heard that in 8th grade he was smoking marijuana. He was evil and had it coming. Did you know George Floyd might have stolen $20 whole? Oh my God, these black people, they're so evil. Did you know that Trayvon Martin it was caught in school maybe smoking pot, and that's why Zimmerman had to murder him in cold blood. He had it coming. He had it coming.
So I can understand if conservatives and right wingers have done that, and so you're just frustrated and don't want to hear it. But I'm not doing that.
It's in the Ahmuad Arbery case and the George Floyd case, you're taking the most extreme cases with the most clear racism, with the most clear murders, and you're trying to nuance it. And what I'm telling you, Tim, and what has made me uncomfortable in the past about you, which is what I was trying to get past, is that attracts a huge right-wing audience because they want somebody to excuse the death of Ahmuad Arbery and George Floyd. And when you seem to excuse it with your nuance, then they go, yes!
I don't care what
finally somebody's sticking up for white people killing black people. Come on, don't tell me there aren't people in your audience that think that. There's tons of people who think that.